Good morning, student. Today we discuss about the hydraulic braking system. Before discussion of the topic, we have to know about what is the braking system. What is the function of braking system? Brake is a component of an automobile which control the moving vehicles. As like we by applying the brake, we slow down our vehicles or we stop our moving vehicles when we required. So brake is a controlling device. We can say brake is a controlling device which can control the moving vehicles. So there are various type of braking system are there, as like you may say mechanical braking system, hydraulic braking system, air braking system, air assisted hydraulic braking system, and vacuum braking system, and drum brake system, disc brake system. Various type of braking system are there. So today we are discussing about the hydraulic braking system. Why we say the hydraulic braking system? Hydraulic means you know liquid. By the application of liquid pressure or hydraulic pressure, we apply the brake, or by help of hydraulic pressure we apply the brake easily. So we apply the brake by using hydraulic or fluid, which decrease our effort by giving some effort by the human beings or by driver. It can multiply several times by the hydraulics. So the brake can be applied with less effect in the hydraulic braking system. So hydraulic braking system, at first, what is the first contains introduction, why we need hydraulic braking system, principle of braking and working of hydraulic braking system, application, advantages, disadvantages, and conclusion. So introduction. In hydraulic braking system, brake is operated by the help of hydraulics or fluid. What is brake? Brake is a component which slow down the moving vehicles. So in a hydraulic braking system, what are the components of there? In hydraulic braking system, there is a brake pedal in which we apply the effort. Now brake calipers which help to function the brake pedals, brake rotors, and brake linings through which our pressurized fluid is flowing from master cylinder to wheel cylinder. And brake shoe, in the brake drum there is a brake shoe which is connected with the brake lining. Whenever we apply the brake in the hydraulic braking system, the pressurized fluid is come to the wheel cylinder. By the pressurized fluid in the wheel cylinder, two pistons are presented which extended the brake shoe and brake lining toward the brake drum. Whenever brake drum is contact with the brake shoe and brake drum, so brake is applied. In the hydraulic braking system, there is a main component which is master cylinder. Master cylinder is a main component of the hydraulic braking system. In hydraulic braking system, this is the master cylinder. In master cylinder there are lot of components are there. In the generally line diagram, whenever we apply the brake pedal, at that time the fluid inside the master cylinder get compressed, and that compressed fluid is flow to the wheel cylinder. In the wheel cylinder there are two pistons are there, which are separated by the small spring. Whenever pressurized fluid is come to the wheel cylinder, at that time it expand the brake shoe toward the brake drum. So how master cylinder is working? In a master cylinder there is a one reservoir, and there are two ports are there. One is inlet port, another is exhaust. Three ports are there. One is inlet port, another is exhaust port, and another is bypass port. So whenever we are applying the pressurized pedal, or whenever we are applying the brake, at that time the pistons, the push rod of the piston move forward, and at that time, in that position, the inlet port is open in the master cylinder. When we apply the brake, at that time the inlet port of the master cylinder is open, and the liquid in the reservoir or fluid in the reservoir come to the primary cup of the master cylinder. In the primary cup, when the primary cup is fill up, at that time from the primary cup, the fluid is come through the bypass port to the secondary cup, and at that time in front of the piston inside the master cylinder, the get compressed. By the compression, the liquid of the fluid of the master cylinder in front of the piston get compressed, and that compressed pressurized fluid is come to the wheel cylinder, just like wheel cylinder, which is come by the pressurized fluid, and this pressurized fluid is expand the wheel brake shoe and brake lining toward the brake drum. Whenever the brake shoe brake lining is come in contact with the brake drum, get friction. Due to coefficient of friction, the rotating drum is getting stopped. Again, whenever we are releasing the piston of the master cylinder, or we are releasing the brakes, at that time the pressurized fluid from the wheel cylinder return back to the master cylinder through the check valve. Just like this is a live view of the master cylinder, how it is working. There is a brake booster and brake master cylinder, and this pressurized, whenever force is applied to the master cylinder, at the time the pressurized fluids come to the wheel cylinder and in the brake drum. So this is the line diagram also, you may see. The hydraulic braking system is working under the principle of Pascal's law. You know Pascal's law. What is Pascal's law? In a liquid, if the some stone or rest fluid is disturbed by the some object, then the intensity of pressure is moved equally in all directions. That is the Pascal's law. According to Pascal's law, whenever we are applying the brake in a brake pedal, at that time the pressurized fluid is flow to the every wheel, in equal intensity of pressure. So whenever we are applying the brake in the hydraulic braking system, equally pressure is distributed to the four wheel of the master cylinder, so it is function very easily and it is comfortable to the driver. So this is the working principle of the hydraulic braking system, which is working under the Pascal's law. By Pascal's law, the hydraulic braking system is working. The difference between hydraulic and pneumatic braking system. So hydraulic braking system and pneumatic braking system. Pneumatic braking system is other name is air braking system. So hydraulic braking system generally used in principle of operation is Pascal's law, and in the air braking system is on the principle of Boyle's law. Boyle's law statement is that the pressure is inversely proportional to temperature, inversely proportional to volume when temperature remains constant. Operating medium, this is a hydraulic that means liquid, and pneumatic that means air. The force transmission usually liquid, this is compressed air, and this is a compressed fluid, and in the hydraulic braking system, compressed brake is operated due to the pressurized fluid. In air braking system, the brake is operated due to compressed air. Response time, generally faster response time than the pneumatic. In the hydraulic braking system, in every point, or we may say in hose pipe fill of hydraulic fluid. So whenever we are applying the force, it suddenly forces the fluid equally pressure, and equally pressure is transferred. But in the compressed air case, there is some default is there. So whenever we are, as this is a air, so whenever we give the compressed at that time, it take time sometimes. Performance consistency, offer more consistency, more performance, as it is a liquid. Compressed liquid is operating in the braking system. So if there is no air bubbles is present, so it functions very easily. But maintenance point of view, as there is a drawback in the hydraulic braking system. In a drawback is that if the air bubbles is present in the hydraulic braking system, it is not work. So it is and as also as it is a liquid contamination with the components, so frequent maintenance is required. Otherwise, it may be get junk or rust. But it is less requirement, less maintenance is required in the air braking system. And another difference between hydraulic braking system and mechanical braking system. In mechanical braking system, we are using links as like you may say in the bicycle, there is a links are used for operating the brakes. But in that case, we are using fluid. Force transmission, this is by the help of liquid. In that case of mechanical braking system, there is a mechanical brake linkage are connected. Response time, This is quickly, hydraulic pressure is transfer quickly, but in the mechanical system